Welcome to the United States of Tiffany. Our commentary offers a humorous take on wrestling. Please note, we're not bullying or attacking the wrestlers. We're engaging with the choreographed sport and its storylines. Our jokes and observations are about the characters and storylines, not the real people behind them. Tourists and citizens alike, welcome. Enjoy the show, and remember, it's all in good fun.
Well, hi. Hope you guys had a good day. I hope you guys enjoyed Raw. It was interesting. I'll say that. Now, we did learn a few things about Monday Night Raw, yes? Oh, we got some tea to talk about, honey. Mm. Hmm. Hold on, y'all. We're going to get to the tea in a second. Because we got a lot to talk about. We got lots to buy. But what we do have is a very interesting thing going on for the Raw tag team titles, which I actually like. But we're going to get into everything in just a second. Okay, I want to make sure we cover it all. Now, I hate that they only gave you a couple of photos and stuff. But anyways, hello to everybody. How are you guys doing? Hi. Hi. Eli, hello. 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 I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Hello, Aaliyah, to you too. All right. So we're going to get into it. We're going to make it very quick so you guys aren't here all night. Okay. First things first, the person who opened up the show today was Rhea Ripley. She made it very clear that she was not done with Liv Morgan and that she was going to continue her pursuit of her until she got her championship back. Sure, as long as, you understand that you're going to have to deal with all of Judgment Day and not just Liv Morgan, then by all means, do what you do best, Rhea, and wreak havoc. Okay? She was also attacked, and Tiffany Stratton showed up on the show to tell Rhea Ripley a message from Nia Jax, which I thought was unnecessary because Nia could have given her own message, saying as how her punk ass was there. Didn't make sense to me, but sure, go off, sis. Whatever makes you happy. I guess if you have a minion, you should use them. She decided to send Tiffany in to do her dirty work and basically told Rhea to stay out of her business unless you want to make an enemy out of her. A big one. Tiffany made sure to, stress that it was a big one. And I was like, we don't need you to stress that, and neither do Rhea. Rhea know what she going up against dealing with Nia Jax, as does any opponent who goes up against Nia Jax. They know that 90% of the time, and this is no shade to Nia, but it's just real tea. She's gonna be bigger. She's gonna be. She just is naturally. So stressing that it was gonna be a bigger problem was unnecessary. But sure, Tiffany, whatever makes you happy. Tiffany came in there dressed like she was getting ready to go to a Barbie picnic with her blank shoes on, and this led to Raquel and Liv coming out there and attacking both Tiffany and Rhea. Sure. Again, whatever makes y'all happy. Um this led to Rhea going in the back and telling Adam she wanted a match with Liv and Raquel today. To which, Adam basically was like, sure, you can have the match. But in order for you to have the match, you need to have a partner. Can't have you going out there wrestling two people, even though I know that's the way you want it. Sometimes we can't get what we want. So Rhea was like, fine, whatever. Who gonna wrestle with me? Because basically, Rhea don't have many female friends in the back because she kind of done went through the whole roster of Raw with the exception of Jade and Bianca and took out everybody. She pretty much went and was just taking out everybody. Now you have to remember, during Rhea's time as champion, she wasn't going after Bianca Belair. Bianca was still dealing with Damage Control over on SmackDown. So Bianca and Rhea and Jade and Rhea ain't crossed paths. They ain't had no interactions in that capacity. So, keep that in the back of your mind. Because I have a sneaking suspicion that Liv and Raquel are going to want those tag team titles back. And that's how they're going to sucker and bring in Jade Cargill and them. Just let me work. Just let me cook a little bit. Just give me a little bit. Anyways, he gave Rhea the match because Tiffany went back there crying, talking about some, I don't know, like what the hell is going on? What was that? And Pierce was like, how about her? And Rhea was like, fuck it, whatever, bring her on. So Pierce was like, she was like, what does that mean? What's going on? And Pierce was like, oh, you'll see. So Tiffany got roped into this match, didn't even know what the hell was going on. But eventually, I guess it didn't take her long to figure it out. All right. Now, next up, we had the tag team champions versus Damage Control. Pretty decent match, to be honest with you. Both teams were exceptional in this match. But Jakara and Lash was out there and they was acting up, so much so that they interfered in the match, took out, grabbed Io by her hair, punched her in her face, which gave Bianca and them the open to be able to get the win over Damage Control. Now, I know a lot of people, and Don included, feel like Damage Control deserve a rematch due to Jakara and Lash's interference. Fair enough. But let me tell y'all something. I'm tired of Damage Control. This is the third iteration of Damage Control, and I'm just sick of it. At this point, let it die, let it die. Let it shrivel up and die. You can't hang on to it forever. There's enough women in the women's division for you to either create tag teams or bring in some tag teams. There are plenty of tag teams on the indies or tag teams that can be created that you can bring in, turn into a team, and move on and replenish this division so that there's an actual tag team. Now you do have tag teams here, okay? And PFC is a tag team. You have Katana and Kaden are a tag team. You have Alba and Isla, Unholy Union, as a tag team. Over on SmackDown, you can create a tag team. You have Blair over there on SmackDown. She's not doing anything. You have a lot of wiggle room here and a lot of things to work with, to use people in various divisions. What are you going downstairs for? You're doing what?
Sorry, go in the room. Room.
You have a lot of wiggle room here in this tag division. So at this point, I don't feel like there needs to be an existence of Damage Control. Io could be going after that championship on Raw, and so could Kairi Sane, if we're being honest. You need to have women who could fight in the division and not just in the tag team division. You got to have some separation of church and state here, and Triple H has got to fix that because right now you don't have any viable women. Let's say Rhea never recaptures the championship. You aren't taking the time to build up anybody else. The next person in line, and logically, probably would be Raquel, but then you would have an issue there because Raquel would first have to take care of Liv, then take care of Rhea, then go after the championship. And I just feel like while you're doing that, you could simultaneously build up some other women so they can at least appear to be top contenders for the title. Right now, you don't have anything like that outside of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. You're too busy focusing on them when you need to be moving parallel to both stories, if that makes sense. Constantly building and replenishing is where you should be. But there's gonna be some get back here. Lash and Jakara did cost Damage Control their opportunity at the titles. So if you ask me, if I were Io and Kairi, I would be at NXT and I would be attacking them and showing up and making them pay for it. Then I would go to Pierce and get a rematch where definitely Lash and Jakara would not be in attendance to cost me or get involved. But technically, Lash and Jakara also deserve a rematch for the titles because Kevin Owens cut them off in the beginning of their match. And I really want them to run it back. There was a good matchup between the two of the four women. They really, really did well. I'm not so big on the rematch for Damage Control, but out of fairness, they did get an interference. The first, I need to take care of Lash and Jakara, then demand the rematch, and then get it. Moving on. I'm gonna go to what I remember. Cody Rhodes came out there. To me, their promo was way too long. I know that a lot of people like hearing Gunther talk, but Gunther takes a long time for him to say a one-liner. And quite frankly, the show is only 2 hours now. We don't have time. Get to the fucking point, Gunther. Okay. Now Gunther thought he ate because he called Cody a secondary champion. Kudos. I mean, given the fact that Cody's belt is the brand belt, and your belt was created for Seth freaking Rollins, it would stand to reason that that's not true. But sure, make yours whatever makes you happy. He also alluded to the fact that Cody may not be his personal at his best going up against him in Crown Jewel because he has this lingering issue with his so-called friends over on SmackDown. He saw what Kevin Owens has been doing, and he also sees how everything is falling apart. He can't get the Solo and them under control. He's constantly going back and forth, and then he's siding with his enemies. He's like, it's too much drama going on in your life and in your championship reign. And if you don't get your shit together, I don't want to be wrestling no subpar version of you. I want the best of the best. And Cody was just like, he was like, first of all, mind your business. Second, he said, my soft-heartedness or my ability to be able to have friends and to try to maintain and keep friends is not my greatest weakness. It is my strength. But he was like, since we're talking about weaknesses, he was like, I saw how you compete. And when the going gets tough and things really start to go down for you, I saw how you cracked under pressure. I saw how it took nothing but just a little bit longer in that ring and you broke. It was done beautifully. So he was like, why you worried about what's going on with me? You need to be more concerned about you, because he said, you ain't never been in the ring with me. You don't know what it's like to wrestle me. And he was like, quite frankly, it's about time that you learn. So he was like, at Crown Jewel, may the best man win. And Gunther was like, I will, essentially, is what he said. So he walked away. And Cody was just like, okay, well played. That was that. That segment was longer than it needed to be, quite frankly. And I know that Cody Rhodes is long-winded, as is Gunther. Gunther got to tell you a whole story, then get to the punchline where he insults you, right? Cody's more of a sentimental, I like to draw on the emotions and the heartstrings of the people type of speech guy. Both of them are long-winded and they both need to get to the damn point. There's no point in y'all coming out there cutting promos for 10 minutes, talking long, being out there longer than 6 to 7 minutes at best. I just don't have the energy to sit and listen to it. Not to mention, again, Raw is only 2 hours. You need to be able to put as much in there as possible. Can't do that when, the two big champs are on the show and they're both tearing shit up. Now, let's talk about some sidebar stuff. In the back, Finn Balor went to Adam Pearce after Adam talked to Rhea and Tiffany. The few segments later, here come the tag team champions walking up, and they having a conversation amongst themselves. They see Pierce and they request that Damian gets the Finn wants another match with Damian. Finn feels like he deserves another match, which no the fuck you don't, babe. Because let me get this right. This is what happened the first 3 times you went up against Seth freaking Rollins. You had help from your Judgment Day members and you still lost. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Then you go up against Damian Priest, talk all this shit, and you lose not once, not twice, but it was a 1, 2, 3 count. You lost with the same formula that you have been losing with this whole time. And you can't seem to understand what's going on. You go to Pierce and demand a rematch. A rematch for what? You're not owed anything, sir. But Pierce was like, I tell you what you do need to do. Your ass need to be defending them damn tag team championships. And since you're so eager to wrestle, I'm going to give you an opportunity to do so. So over the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a tournament. In that tournament, all of the tag teams will compete for the opportunity to face off against you two goons. And whoever wins the tournament will win the right to challenge you for those tag team championships. And I was like, what? Really? Oh my gosh. Love that for us. Yes, we do. We love that for us. It's going to be an amazing time. The tag team tournament kicked off today with American Alpha facing off against none other than our beloved War Raiders. The War Raiders have returned, ladies and gentlemen, and we love that for them. The War Raiders were a fun tag team, formerly known as the Viking Raiders, but after Vince McMahon is gone, they can go back to their original NXT name, which was the War Raiders. Okay, they came out and they performed as they always do, with full force and brutality, and we love that about the War Raiders. I love the War Raiders. They're one of my favorite tag teams in WWE, and I like the fact that they have been able to maintain themselves even with the Viking Raiders gimmick. They were still able to maintain themselves and produce some of the most hard-hitting and funnest matches that I've ever seen. The War Raiders are gold. So them being back on Raw and being 100% healthy again is absolutely primo, babe. We love that for them. They beat American Alpha pretty easily, which I hate that for American Alpha, but I'm not surprised. And that, unfortunately, I'm not surprised. So it is what it is, babes. It is what it is. Now, for some of y'all who came in a little late, like I said, Jade and Bianca did retain their championships, but it was due to some minor controversy over with Lash and Jakara, which I'm sure Damage Control is going to take up with them later on. Gunther and Cody faced off, and they had their moment in the ring, and it was something. But it didn't really, to me, it didn't really hit, and I genuinely would have probably preferred that it was Sammy, because the dynamic of their friendship is different, and it would have been interesting to see how this could play out, because you could have brought Kevin into this and had, and really made this into something deeper than just a champion versus champion. And I feel like Triple H missed a good opportunity to still shoehorn Kevin into the story and then keep it producing later on, which I'm sure he will still do at Crown Jewel, but it just would have been all the more juicier and dramatic if Sammy was champion right now. But it is what it is. I'm not mad about it. Do you? So we're moving on. After we saw that, we saw all those segments. We know there's a tag team tournament. There was a scheduled match between Kofi Kingston and Braun Breaker. Now, Braun Breaker cut a promo. I was in the bathroom when he cut his promo. But I was told essentially that he felt like Jey Uso spit it back in his face that he won the championship. And I just feel like I think that they felt like they pulled the trigger prematurely on Braun Breaker, possibly turning face. And when they kind of got the feedback online about it, they decided to keep him as a heel to try to go back after that championship. And I don't know exactly what's going on, but I feel like I have a sneaking suspicion that Breaker's going to get that title back. And it's not going to be. I hate that this is about to happen, but my brain is telling me that Breaker's about to get this title back because they don't quite want him to go after Gunther just yet, because they had already teased it. You know what I'm saying? They gave us a little bit. Now, what happened in this match was Kofi lost to Breaker, obviously. Xavier came out there, Breaker left, and Breaker then tried to attack Xavier. Jey Uso came out there with the save on both of them, and he was able to take Breaker out. Now, Breaker was left laid out. Now, next week, the match is made for Jey Uso to go up against Braun Breaker. And I'm terrified that they're gonna take this championship off of Jay. He hasn't even had it that long, which really pisses me off that they would do that. But something is telling me that he's getting ready to lose his title. If he doesn't, the reason why he would keep it is going to be because of Jimmy. Jimmy came to Raw today to talk to his brother due to last week when we saw on SmackDown that Jimmy is adamant that they cannot do this with rebuilding the bloodline, or at least taking down this new version of the bloodline without the actual bloodline. They need them in order to do this. And Jimmy is like, we can't do this by ourselves. If we're taking on Jet Solo, we can't keep doing this by ourselves. We need him. And Roman's like, no, we're not doing that. He was like, fam, you got to trust me. We need him back. So Jimmy showed up on Raw to talk to his brother, which his brother was not trying to hear nothing that he had to say. His brother slammed the door in his face. He walked away and went to, I guess, the main locker room to get his stuff, and he was leaving. And Jimmy basically was like, can we talk? I just need a minute. I promise it's just going to be a minute. And Jey Uso told him no. He was like, just get out my face, bro. And he just walked away. Now, the only way that they're going to be able to bring Jey Uso back in is if, one, Jimmy makes the save and saves his brother. Two, the new bloodline comes to Raw to attack Jey Uso because they've decided to try to recruit him back into the bloodline. They will see him as a threat. They will come after him. So those are two ways that they can bring him back into the fold, but it's going to take a lot. And then they will probably need to go get Sammy, which at this point, Sammy is very vulnerable, and I hate to say it, but it might be the best time to get him now in his vulnerability, which low-key sucks and is very manipulative, but it's the truth. Anyways, this match is happening, unfortunately. It is happening. Now, The Miz went up against R-Truth today. The Miz lost on a roll-up after Final Testament came out there. And then, hold tight, y'all. I know. Hold tight. Still don't know my words, still stressing perfection. Let you all in my mental, got me looking too desperate. Damn, you ain't deserve. Okay, so as the match was going on, like R-Truth was trying to, get back to his friend, to which Miz was low-key looking like he was gonna, smile and shuck and jive, but as soon as the trickster came out there, that all changed and shifted. He won the match. Truth won the match, and then he rolled out the ring and he tried to leave, and that's when Karrion sent AOP after him, threw him back in the ring, and the Miz hit him with the skull crushing finale, or the mic check. Was it skull crushing finale? It was skull crushing finale. That's what it's called. He hit him with that. Now, during this matchup, at least the beginning, before Final Testament came out, we saw the break in the TV with the Wyatt Six. My assumption is that they're going after the Miz because he turned his back on R-Truth. And they have a very big problem with people turning their back on people that they consider to be family. They don't like that. They become mortal enemies of you. However, in my book, they should be going after the Final Testament because Final Testament is the problem. But it could be a 2-for-1 special here, okay? So we would have to wait and see how that plays out. But me personally, I would have put the Wyatt Six on Final Testament. That's who I would have been destroying. Even though the Miz turned his back on Truth, that is absolutely true. I still would have combined them and had them going after both of them. Karrion only shows up when Miz is around. For some reason, he's attached himself to Miz. I don't understand the dynamic of that. I do know that Karrion is very much going after former champions, but he's starting at the bottom of the former champions and then working his way up according to him. And he's already created enough dissension between the New Day that they have started to fight amongst themselves. And it's all because of Karrion's doing, but it also played a lot on Xavier Woods' own insecurities for being the only member in New Day without a singles championship. So a lot of shit has been happening as of lately due to Karrion Kross and his involvement. Not only has he destroyed the New Day from the inside, he has also destroyed Awesome Truth from the inside. So that's two teams down. And now all he has to do is try to work on other people, which is going to be a little bit difficult. But Karrion is very much a trickster. He likes to cause chaos whenever he can. So we'll have to wait and see. But my money is telling me that the Wyatt Six are going to be on Miz's ass very, very soon. It's going to be an interesting time, is the best way to explain it. Now, to move on, okay, there was a lot. There was a lot on the television. The last match of the night was between Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, and Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. Now, Liv Morgan and Raquel were able to split the team. At first, it started off with Rhea. Rhea was able to get, some traction going, but Tiffany let herself in the match. And once that happened, that pretty much took Raquel and Tiffany out of the match completely. They isolated Tiffany from Raquel and was able to take her down. So much so that this led to a breakdown in this match. I don't really remember where the breakdown came from, but it came towards the end. The match was fairly short because it started at like 9:40. Didn't the match start at like 9:40, babe?
Somewhere around there.
Like 9:45, 9:50?
Yeah.
So they were wrestling for about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less than that. So it was a fairly decent match, but it was a little bit short for the main event. But they came out, they wrestled, they were in the ring, and as the match began to break down, Tiffany Stratton was in the ring getting attacked. I don't right off remember if the match even had a definitive winner. Did it have a definitive winner?
No,
Raquel and them got attacked. Rhea got attacked on the outside, taking care of Raquel by Nia. Liv was in the ring attacking Tiffany Stratton, if I recall. Nia got in and took out Liv by herself and annihilated her ass in the middle of the ring. Then she, pretty much instructed Tiffany to cash in so she can get her championship, which to me was ignorant because like you left her in the corner. Here's my problem. If you really wanted her to cash in, right? Why did you leave her in the corner where possibly Raquel or her heroin addicted boyfriend could come in and steal and pull her out before you could cash in? Why wouldn't you pull her in the middle of the ring and then block anybody who could possibly come in? That way the decision would be left up to Tiffany. And then you could really see where she stands on this side. Now, I told y'all last week that I see where this is going. And this is building to a Survivor Series match at War Games. Because while everybody's getting attacked, right, there's still some protections happening amongst the girls, okay? There has to be some building of Survivor Series teams going into Survivor Series. They need to, because there's no other storyline for the women that would take precedence over putting Rhea, Liv, Tiffany, Nia, and possibly Naomi inside that cage for War Games. There's no other storyline that would take precedence over that. Now, the other two members of Rhea's team would really depend on how they would build the story from here on out. But for now, we've got Raquel, Tiffany, Nia, and Liv on one team. And then you've got Rhea, possibly Naomi, and then two other slots are open. I believe that they can work together in order to do what's necessary. But I know that this is how it's going because the way my brain is looking at it, I can see it. It's probably happening. But I'm just gonna wait and see what Uncle Trip is gonna do. So the last match of the night, Nia showed up, took out and annihilated Liv. Liv ended up getting pulled out of the ring by Dom before Tiffany could cash in, and they were stuck on the apron, hollering and screaming. Now you saw that Rhea kept getting attacked by Nia. Nia got attacked by Rhea last Friday. Raquel is attacking everybody, and so is Liv Morgan. They're attacking everybody. So it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. We gonna wait and see how this is gonna play out. But I suspect that Crown Jewel is gonna be nasty work for somebody. Somebody's not walking out of there as the inaugural Crown Jewel champion. I'm putting my money on Nia, but given the fact that I feel like Rhea's gonna come in there and make a big mistake at costing somebody something, and this could lead to Liv being the inaugural champion, I would rather it be Nia Jax, if I'm being honest and fair. Not because I don't like Liv, but simply because I feel like that's just what I want. Not even trying to be funny. That's just what I want. But tomorrow is a new day and it's going to be NXT. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to be spinning the wheel of NXT and Halloween Havoc. And this wheel determines the type of matches that they will have on NXT for Halloween Havoc. And Halloween Havoc is October 26th. And it is going to be a TVPLE, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, tomorrow, Stephanie Vaquer is going to have her very first match against Ren Sinclair. We're also going to have Nikita Lyons coming back, and she's going to be facing off against Lola Vice. Tony D'Angelo is going to be having a celebration because he is now the North American champion. And of course, we're going to have the finale, or our main event, which is a triple threat match between Wesley, Javon Evans, and Ethan Page. These three men will be competing to have an opportunity to face off against Trick Williams, I assume, at Halloween Havoc. Also, you're going to have Oro Mensah and Lexis King battling it out again. And finally, we'll have Riley Osborne and, of course, Ridge Holland battling it out once again. Now, I hope that in this particular match that Andre Chase returns, or at least Duke Hudson returns. They've been gone for quite some time, and it's been enough time for them to be gone that they need to come back at this point. And they can't just let Chase U die. They gotta, make sure they fight for Chase U. So it's going to be an interesting time. Wednesday, we're going to have an interesting discourse because there's some videos that I have downloaded that I need you guys to see. And there's some discourse online that has caused a havoc over on my Twitter, on my TikTok, actually. I just simply reposted what some of the wrestling journalists have said. I said nothing in response to it, and it has gone and blown into a massive problem. I've gotten 2 stitches on TikTok about it that have blown my fucking mind, how angry these people are. And some of the comments under my post on Instagram are interesting as well. And we're going to talk about all of these things over here on YouTube on Wednesday. So make sure you guys come on in on Wednesday, because we're going to talk about NXT Wednesday, and we're also going to talk about all of that stuff as well. That's another thing we need to discuss, and it's going to be fans Discord online when you're talking about the wrestlers. Now, I know oftentimes y'all get on me about the things that I say, but I never wish harm on any wrestler in any capacity. When we're talking about wrestling, we're talking about characters, we're talking about what we see on TV. I never, ever, ever want anyone to believe that I am intentionally wishing harm or injury on anybody, because an injury is devastating. for a lot of people. So all these fans on Twitter who were literally hoping for Rhea Ripley to be injured is very, very disheartening, and it's concerning. Your behavior is weird. You need to reevaluate the things that you put on social media. Now, I know y'all gonna be looking at me like, not you talking about it. You just called Dominic a heroin addict. Look, the man is always sweating. He's shaved. His hair is always wet. He got bags under his eyes like he don't sleep. He looks like he is on hard drugs. I'm not calling him something that is not what it looked like. Okay. I'm not wishing the man take hard drugs. I'm saying that's what he looks like. That's the truth. I'm not wishing no harm on nobody. Nobody. Absolutely nothing. But these fans that went after Rhea Ripley were really disgusting. And she said, but I'm the bad person. Literally wishing for me to get hurt and laughing about it. Maybe some of y'all should look in the mirror. She has a point, babes. Like, you can't go around wishing people to be injured and then have a good old kiki about it online. Some of y'all don't understand the power of social media, and you really don't understand how quickly you can destroy your lives just with the 1-2 tweet. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk about all this stuff and so much more on Wednesday. I promise we'll have a full conversation. We're going to talk about wrestling and the racist undertones in wrestling. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about NXT first and get it out the way. And then we're going to do what we always do on Wednesdays and just chill and have a good time. All right. Y'all make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe. Please remember to do that. It is important. It helps the channel grow. Okay. Also, do not forget to sign up for the membership. The memberships are going to be worth it. I promise. I'm going to be reading Becky's book and giving you guys a full review and blow-by-blow of the book. We're going to do 5 chapters of video, at least 5 chapters. If I don't do 3, it'll be 3 to 5 chapters for the books. I'm going to start off with Becky's. We're going to go to Drew's. I have Rhonda's book, so I'll do Rhonda's book as well. We'll talk about all of these. We'll do in-depth analysis, breakdowns of their books. Same way I did the Vince McMahon documentary. It's the same way we'll do the books. I also have some other videos in the works that are going to be members exclusive. And you guys will be able to interact with those videos and let me know which ones you want to come out first. The memberships are low, but they're as low as I could make them with that YouTube would allow me to. So that's where we are. So sign up for the memberships so you can all be a part of the exclusive fam, and you guys will get discounts on merch. That discount is done by tier. You'll have your own discount code and all the other stuff. All that I ask is that you do not share the discount code with other people once you sign up. Be respectful of me, of course, okay? Because the discount is for you, all right? So with all that being said, make sure you guys sign up for the membership, subscribe to my channel, share and like the video. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in my next one, which will be Wednesday when we talk about NXT and, of course, racial undertones in wrestling. It's going to be a hot button topic for sure this Wednesday. You're not going to want to miss that live. Trust me. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
If you don't want to see me, if you don't wanna see me, did a full 180, crazy, thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me? Maybe, but look at where I ended up. I'm open already.